Hello guys, hello and welcome to another video and another Partworks month set for the Dodge Charger, Fast and Furious Dodge Charger from Fanhome. And yep, we've got 4 issues again. We've got issue 43, 44, 45 and 46, and it's all to do with electrics. So this is going to be a bit fun. You know, electronics is always fun when it comes to building anything up, really. You know, I've done a few electric stuff with the Partworks, and yeah, it can be fun, can test the limits, you know, and yeah, well, it's just one of those things, really. But we also got a little box, a free gift with this package. As you know, one of the other free gifts was an actual baseball cap, but in this one, as a free gift, we got a power bank, and it is pretty big, pretty heavy, got some good weight to it, good size of a power bank as well. And yeah, I've not tried it yet, but that should be pretty damn good. And yeah, so let's put that back. That is, I think this one is with your 10th delivery, I think it is. Something like that, 10th or 11th delivery. I think that is all we've got, apart from, I think there's a t-shirt that's supposed to be coming as well. So yeah, good little free gift with that. So as I said, we've got these 4 magazines. We're doing the electrics, so we'll move on to the first issue, issue 43. So in here it says about Takeshi DK. Obviously, as you know him as DK from Tokyo Drift, the Drift King, and going on about more information about him and things like that. And then you got the Dodge 1500/1800. It was developed by the Hillman brand. And then we're assembling the battery holder. So obviously these issues shouldn't really take much time to do, really. So we just got the back panels of the fuel tank and some little springs and things like that, and it's just basically doing all the little individual sections, showing where it would go. And then it says power of air, so it's air suspension. You've got the airbags as well, and a little bit of info on there, so for your low riders as well. So anyways, let's crack on and get all these little pieces out. Okay, so we've got that, and then we got this bag in here, but it doesn't seem to want to. There we go. Didn't want to come out then. Okay, so we've just got a couple of pieces. We've got a spring, we've got a washer, and we've also got the screw. So yeah, all we do is, well, we don't really need anything to do with that at the moment. So what we do is we grab hold of this. We then get the screw that is in this place, and it says from the top side of the battery holder, cover 43B, which is this. Insert the screw into the corresponding hole, the screw, and then just place that, without it slipping, of course. Just place that into the hole, like so. And then it says turn the battery cover over and slide the spring. It's only a tiny little spring. So we'll do that. What we'll do is we've then got to turn it over and place this spring on the end like so. If that will, there we go. So we've got the spring on there, as you can see. So we turn the page, and then it's also saying finally slide the washer, which is in this bag, is a clear washer, onto the screw 43C, so that it is on top of the spring 43D. So we've just got to get the washer out, making sure we don't really let it bounce or fly anywhere, because yeah, that's the worst thing that could happen. And then that will then sit on top. Okay, so what I shall do is I shall just screw that slightly. There we go. And there we are. So you've got your little washer in there with your screw. As you can see, it springs as well. So that washer is a good strength on that. And that is that stage complete. So we move on to the next stage, or the next book. So we move on to issue 44. As you can see, we've also got the car as well. We've got the chassis here, so we do need that. We will sort that one out when we get there. It says about the Dodge Viper, a super sports car. And going on about when obviously it was first made. Walter Chrysler Museum. And it says assembling the battery holder part 2. So we've got the main battery box there with the switch and some other bits as well. So fitting everything into the fuel tank section. Okay. So we then got that. Making all that lot up. Stiffening the setup. Okay. So on about the suspension again. Adding the bar in the middle there, and that. So yeah, that's that bit there. And we move over to the next box, get the next package out. We do have bags of screws in this one as well. Okay, so we get all the little bags out. So we have EP screws, we have FP screws, we also have GP screws, which are tiny screws, and then we have a little nut as well. So we then got all those, and we also have this little support thing as well. So what we need to do is to unravel the cable, being very careful with it, of course. So unravel all the cabling from there, like so, as it shows in the book. Okay. So what we need to do is, it says insert the nut 44C, which is this nut here, into the corresponding hexagonal hole in the battery holder. Okay, so we then grab the nut and put it in such way, like so. So it's placed into like that. Now we also need to place the connecting plate 44B over the nut and secure it with 2 GP screws. So we've got to then take this connecting plate out, which is here. And then what we do is we then have 2 holes. You can just about see right there. We then place that on top with 2 GP screws, and these are very tiny screws as well. So what I will do is I shall place one in first, and then grab my screwdriver. This is going to be a bit fiddly, as you can see. So start that one off. There we go. Then grab another one. And there we go. We've got the both of the screws in. So just make sure that they're tightened up, but not too much so you shear the heads off. There we go. So there you go. As you can see, you've got 2 small screws on top. And then what we do, it says then join the piece you have now just assembled with the back panel of the fuel tank 43A. Insert the switch correctly into the small rectangular hole as shown as well. So what we need to do is what we do first is we'll do the switch, put that in first, and then have the parts on top like so. And then we need to attach that section there with 4 FP screws. Okay. So we can grab the whole lot. That's one in. That's 2. Making sure they're all nice and tight. And then that's 3. And then the last one out of these 2, or out of these, the switch has just come out, unfortunately. There we go, and that's 4. Okay, so then what we do is we then got to, on the next stage, it says secure the switch with 2 EP screws. Okay. So that's 1. And then there's 2. So we just tighten those up. Making sure not too tight again. Like so, there we go. And there you go, so you have your switch, like so. Flip that page, and then what we do is we then grab the other bit that we made in the first section, and then we just tighten that all together, and there we go. So now we've got the little battery box with everything like so. Put that to one side, and that completes issue 44. Okay, so moving on to issue 55. It also goes on about Twinkie, the fixer. He's also from Tokyo Drift. And some more information about him as well. Going on about the Dodge Neon. We're then adding the fuel tank and the speaker. So we've actually got sound to put into this. So adding the two halves of the fuel tank together, then connecting it up to the main chassis of the car, which obviously we've got over here, and then putting the speaker in. It says about the drifting phenomenon and specific drift cars and things like that. So you got your Subarus, you got your Nissans as well, and you got King of Drifting on there as well. Okay, so we shall move on and grab this over, pull this one to one side, and there we go. So we have the little box or little packet for the speaker. We also got the other half of the fuel tank. We've got CM screws, we've got CP screws, AP screws, and the cover for, or the holder for the speaker as well. So move everything to one side again, and then what we do, it says take the piece with the battery holder 43A, which is this one, and pass the wiring, which is this wire here, through the rectangular hole in the upper panel of the fuel tank, which is there, 45A, and attach the latter to the lower panel 43A, aligning the locating pins of the parts together. Okay, so we've got 6 locating pins, as you can see, just there. We've also got the 6 at the top there. Bring that through, feed that all the way through, or as far as we can. Then connect that like so. And that is that. And then we've got to connect that with 6 AP screws. Okay. So we've got 7 there, and we take one out of that. There we go. There we are. So we've got the 6. Okay. So then we do each one. And then we'll go back and tighten them up afterwards once they're all in place. Excuse me, there we go. Okay, then the last ones. Okay, so then tighten all these screws up, making sure nothing is coming apart. There we go. There we are. So then we feed that wire through, all the way through again. So we've got the main cable. So we've got this little connector actually pulled through, which is showing. And now it's saying take the chassis and from underneath position the fuel tank as shown. Make sure that the battery holder wiring comes out to the top. Then align the mounting holes with 4 CP screws. Okay, so we shall move the book out of the way. And we will then bring the chassis across to one side as well. There we go. So we've got the whole section underneath. So what we need to do is making sure that the thinner side of the fuel tank is facing the back. And We then just feed the wire through, and then they are connected. Before we actually put this in, we've then got the 4 screws just inside there. So we need CP screws. So what I will do is I'll just grab the one, put onto the screwdriver, load that up before I get the fuel tank, and place that in. So we've got that. Okay. There we go. So we then just screw it all the way down, making sure it's in position. Okay. So we've got the 2. That's 3. And then the last one, there we go. So that's 4. So just make sure these 2 are tightened. There we go. Okay, so what we then need to do, it says locate the circular housing shown in the illustration, which is this, and insert the speaker, ensuring it faces the exact same way as shown in the illustration. Get my words out. Okay. So we then grab the speaker, and making sure that the wire is facing to the front of the car, and that is attached like so, or just placed in there like so. So as you can see, it shows it in there in the instructions. And then the next one, all we need to do is then it says position the retainer ring 45C as shown in the illustration, align the fixing holes and secure with 2 cm screws. So there you go. Okay, so what we then need is to then grab that, put that on top. We then need 2 cm screws, which is right here. Okay. Okay, so then we'll just place them in, and then we shall go back and tighten everything up. So that's the first one tightened. Then we go back and tighten the next one, the last one. There we go. So that then connects or completes issue 45. And then we're moving on to the last issue, issue 46. So I'll leave the car here just in case we do actually need it. So it says about Sean, yet again from Tokyo Drift, as you can see, going on about the character and the actor. The Dodge Charger Daytona RT 2006. The electronic control unit, or as some people would call it, the ECU. So we've got the electronic unit, the wiring and sound effect and switch for sound effects of the horn and engine, wiring and switch for the lights, and dashboard lights with wiring, and then we've got some screws as well, or some DM screws. So it goes through and things like that. So yeah, we do need that. It says power under control. I'm obviously going on about the brake discs, the brake calipers, and carbon ceramic discs as well. Okay, so we shall move this to one side as well. What we'll do for the moment is we shall move the car up that way, because we don't need the car straight away. So as you can see, we've got a packet full of wiring. I dare say for the next couple of issues, or the next batch, would probably be more wiring as well. So we've then got a white cable with a switch. We've got a green cable with a switch. We've then got the dashboard lights with the cable on it. We've then got the control board, which is there, and we also have a bag of DM screws. Okay, so what we need, it says insert the connector on the wiring for the sound effects 46B, which is the green one, into socket 1F of the electronic unit. So we just untangle this, making sure it doesn't get all tied up or anything like that. So we need 1F, which is this one here, as you can see. So we then grab the connector and then just slide that in like so. And then says then the connector on the wiring for the lights 46C, which is the white one, into socket 1G. So yet again, untie the wire or unravel the wire, making sure you just don't break the switch or the connector cable. And we need that into 1G, which is this one here next to the black, making sure that the connector is the right way, or the little plug is the right way around, like so. And finally, the wiring of the dashboard 46D, which is this one, into socket 1H. So they've tied this one up a little bit more because it will be a longer wire, I would imagine. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So it needs to be 1H. Yet again, make sure your little plug is the right way around for the socket. And then that is all connected up like so. Okay, so we then move the hook. Then we bring just move that out of the way a minute. Bring the chassis back over again, and we need to then work on this little area here. And it says with the electronic unit 46A facing the same way as the illustration, which is the white cable and the red and white cable facing forwards and the green cable facing sideways. Put it on the 4 pins located on the left side of the middle section of the chassis and secure with 4 DM screws. So it just sits on top like so. And then what we do is we then get the 4 DM screws that we need from the bag, put them to one side, grab our screwdriver, and then screw it all down. There we go, so that's the first one. Okay, so the next one. Okay, that's that one. Get another screw, if the screw will go in, although if the screwdriver will go into the screw. Then we screw that down. There we go. And then the last screw we then place in that corner there. There we go. Okay, so that now completes that. And then it says insert the connector on the wire of the speaker 45B to 1E. So this cable will then be connected up onto this socket here. There we go. So that's that in place. Making sure your wires don't get tangled up or anything like that. I think there's supposed to be a couple of screws there as well. I'm not too sure as to why they're not. It's a bit strange. And then we also need to grab the other wire, which is here, 44A from the battery box, and that goes into 1D, which is this one here, and then that will then connect up like so, and there we go. And then finally it says test the sound and insert 3 batteries into the battery holder and switch it on. Okay, so what we need to do then is turn it on its side to get to the battery box again. So I will do that. We then undo the battery box. So try and get that opened if you can. There we go. That should. There you go. There we go. There we are. So that's now done that. So we put the 3 batteries in that we need, 3 AAA batteries like it says in the book, and then tighten that, or do that back up like so. Okay, so it then says to turn it on. Which I'm not too sure on what's going on here. It says press the switch on the wiring for sound effects 46B, which is the green one. Which it isn't really. There you go. Okay, so we've now got a horn, and we've also got the engine as well. There we go. Okay, so that is that, and then we should also have. There we go. We've also got the light switch for the dashboard as well. So that is everything now. That is stages 42, I think it is 42 to 46, I think, or 43 to 46. Yep, issue 43, right the way to 46. So this has been a bit of a shorter video as well. It's still taking a little bit of time, but yeah, electrics take a little while to do anyways, and it's done really well. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, drop a thumbs up or anything like that. Drop us a comment, let us know what you think, and yeah, until the next video, thank you for watching, and bye bye.